non-resident. Now, I'll first of all quickly take you through some of the base provisions so that we can build our discussion, and then we can get into some of the issues to understand or test our understanding rather than understand. The contents of the presentation which is there in front of you, the backdrop and overview, basically this 195 is here for various reasons. All of us are aware that the payments or the transactions with the non-residents are huge, and if appropriate tax is not gathered at the first point of time, it works both the ways. First is that when you gather the tax at the first point of time, government, the revenue reaches to the government at the earliest, and the money is available to the government at the earliest. That is first point. But more than that, the important reason is that in case of a non-resident, government machinery may not be sufficient to catch hold of the non-resident if some of the non-resident who does not have presence in India has received an income which otherwise should have been taxed, but it is not taxed for some reason. So for avoiding that kind of issues or the problems, there is a provision for TDS on each and every payment to non-resident. All of you are aware that there is no threshold. Like various sections under section 192 to 194, you may find various thresholds. As far as 195 is concerned, there is no threshold. Even a single rupee payment is being made to non-resident, you have to deduct the tax thresholds, as the case may be. The section prima facie, we deal with the first subsection, subsection 1, that is scope and conditions of section 195. 195 onwards, that is subsection 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, are all almost procedural sections. In the sense that 195.2 is application by payer, 3 is application by payee, 4 validity of the certificate, then the powers of CPDT, furnishing of information, and the authority of prescription. So basically, if you see the whole 195, the force is in subsection 1, and therefore we deal with 195.1, 2 provisos to 195.1, and 2 explanations. That's it basically. Then 195.2 also, of course, very important, because day in day out payers required to make an application. 195.3 also important, but they are procedural. They are subset to 195.1. Whatever cases that we refer or whatever questions that come before the court, most of the time are in relation to applicability of 195 scope, that is 195.1. Of course, there are cases on 195 who can file an appeal when appeal can be filed, but those are to lay clarity on some of the procedural aspects. 195 overview, this section basically applies to any and every person, and it applies to interest and any other sum chargeable to tax. All of you are aware. I won't spend much time on this. Objective of 195 I have stated to you. There was a circular in 1974. You all are aware. This 1974, 75, 76 are the era where India embarked upon the non-resident taxation heavily. All your section 914, 5, 6, 7, if you see, that is interest, royalty, fees for technical services, all those sections are introduced in 1976 to bring or to deem certain income as deeming to be arising in India. Similarly, this section of 195 was substantially changed. It existed at the time when the Act was enacted in 61 for sure, but it was substantially amended in 1975. And when that was being explained in 1974, in November, when the circular was issued to explain why this 195 is substantially amended, that was explained that this is to ensure tax is collected at the earliest point of time, and there should not be any difficulty to government in collection of a tax from the non-resident. and avoiding loss of our revenue. These are the reasons as explained into the circular. And therefore, as and when the matter comes before the court, whatever argument you put forward, court will go by and will be guided by the objectives mentioned in this circular. And that is how you find that somewhere some of the decisions are going in favor of revenue because the objective is to ensure the tax collection. And bear in mind, my friends, you may say that there is no requirement, this may not be taxable, this is arguable, this is possible to take a view in a manner that there is no tax requirement, and still court tells you that okay, tax is required to be deducted, or still you find tribunal telling you tax is required to be deducted. Why? Because objective is to ensure tax collection. If at all there is any doubt, if at all there is any arguability, if at all there are more than one views possible, if at all something can be decided in one way or other way. Now what happens? Ultimately 195 tells you to deduct tax at source. It is not a final tax liability. It is actually an advance tax payment. Let the non-resident file return, get assessed, put or succeed in his claim, and then take back the refund. So if you see, this is operating behind the mind of the judges or operating behind the members of the tribunal. That ultimately, if you say that I am sufferer, a non-resident comes and starts claiming that we suffered the deduction of tax, the tribunal do not listen to that. They feel that you are not sufferer. You may have gone through some process of putting forward your claim, being assessed, but you are not the sufferer. Ultimately, get assessed. If the tax department agrees with your claims, after the assessment, you will get back the refund. We will discuss in detail the options to approach the assessing officer and the tax treaty benefit. So, basic analysis of 195. Now, who is responsible? 195 says any person, including individual, HUF, non-resident, foreign companies. And initially there was a lot of hue and cry. The foreign companies operating from out of India, having some of the employees coming to India, working in India, Section 9 would attract because those people have worked in India and therefore their salary becomes taxable. Now those companies may not have sufficient arrangement, they may not have machinery to deduct the tax at source, but no, it has been consistently held that be it a foreign company, be it a non-resident, whether you have appropriate machinery, whether you have capabilities, if income is taxable in India or if the payment is being made which has income within it taxable in India, tax is required to be deducted at source. That's the way it is. Unfortunate part of it is, or other side of it is, when a person is doing a business, he is expected to be aware of all the nuances. He is expected to know all the developments. He is expected to know all the recent or latest circulars, instructions, notification, and accordingly perform his duty on deduction of that. That's the unfortunate part. But as far as applicability is concerned, it is very fine. Payment to whom? It includes all non-resident. We have seen the case happening when initially Star wanted to make the payment for